Good morning. Good morning. Today is Thursday, October 29th, 2020. And this is the video I've been wanting to do for several days now. I'm really excited to share some of this information with you guys. So it is like super windy here. That storm has come up through the Gulf, and it's like trees are blowing everywhere. And I have a ton of trees in my yard, so I'm a little paranoid that something might fall in my house. So say a prayer. Hopefully not. I think we got the ones that were biggest risk of falling on our house removed, but it's very windy. Anyway, so this is the video I wanted to make about watch days and numbers and all that kind of stuff. So I do want to preface by saying that I do not know the day or the hour of the rapture of the church. I do not know. I don't think I'm any more special than anybody else. God has not told me. He has not revealed it to me, guys. There's nothing that I can, really substantiate with, on my own. No prayers, no visions, no dreams, no anything like that. I'm sitting here holding my coffee because it's also a little chilly in here. But I wanted to let you know there are some really high watch days that we're approaching right now. So again, as I've said in many other videos, I do not think that we can or should limit God to what we think are high watch days. I truly believe that God knows the appointed day, the appointed time, the appointed hour, and whatever that day and time is the perfect timing for that. But with that said, there are signs in the heavens that are being given to us, and the Bible says that the sun, moon, and stars were given to us for seasons and for signs of times. And there's been some discoveries on the Enoch calendar that's related to this time of the year. So it's really interesting. I am not able to get very super specific. I highly recommend that you watch some of the other watch people. There's several of them out there that are talking about October 31st through, I think, like November 7th, November 8th, somewhere in that ballpark, as being a super high watch time. But yeah, there's quite a few watch people out there. So guys, I am not a watchman per se. I am a watcher of watchmen. So I take and listen to what they're saying. I make sure it's biblically sound and that kind of thing. But as far as like astrological signs and all that kind of stuff, it's not really my strong suit. So just based on what they showed in their videos, it sounds accurate to me. Same with the Enoch calendar, guys. Based on the research of the people that I've watched, it seems accurate, and I think it's quite possible. So, but again, I'm not setting a date. I don't know the date, but it seems that October 31st through that first week of November are super high watch days. So that's exciting, guys. It's super exciting. So I wanted to talk to you about some numbers that align with these watch days. So I told you, I don't know, 2 or 3 videos back that for years I saw the number 9/11 on the clock. 9/11 in the morning, 9/11 11 at night. It was very consistent. Well, I always thought it had something to do, or for the longest time, I felt like it had to do with just the fact that my father passed away on September 11th of 2016, because that's when I started seeing those numbers. A few months after he passed away was when I started seeing those numbers on the clock. And I'm like, well, Lord, I don't need a reminder. Okay, I know he died on September 11th. I got it. And then I started asking questions, because it was actually the date that my dad passed away, but it's not the time he passed away. He passed away around 10:05 in the morning. So I started, why is he putting the date, instead of the time? So I always thought that was really interesting. And it honestly, especially with all the high watches we've had this year, it kind of made me wonder, like, well, maybe that is the date of the rapture. Maybe it's going to be on September 11th. And of course, September 11th came and has gone now. But it's made me question. But for several years, guys, it's like I've seen 9/11, 9/11, 9/11, 9/11 on the clock constantly. So of course, I wanted to know if those numbers had meaning biblically. And so I looked them up, and the number 9 means divine completeness. The number 11 means judgment and chaos. So, in terms of the rapture, the number 9 would be the church, right? So the church is going to be divine completeness. The rapture is when the saints are going to be caught up, and our mortal bodies will be immortal, and our corruptible bodies will be incorruptible at that point. And we will be divinely complete, right? Because we're going to live with Jesus for all eternity from that point on. And of course, the rapture, in terms of the number 11 and judgment and chaos, the rapture is going to be a form of judgment on the world, because there's going to be many of us who are going to be taken away, and other people are going to be left behind. Some people are going to realize what has happened. Other people are not. It's going to create a tremendous amount of chaos, guys. And it, again, is a form of judgment, because those who realize what has happened, they're going to be like, oh, Lord, I should have believed. Those people were right. Maybe they weren't so crazy after all. Because trust me, I've been called crazy and all kinds of other terms for my belief, and it's perfectly okay. I'm okay with being called crazy. Some other stuff. So in listening to some of that information about the Enoch calendar, one of the things that was talked about are the prefixes of the words, and that really caught my attention. So, October, Oct, guys, stands for 8, right? So at one point, it was the 8th month of the year. Well, in the Gregorian calendar, the calendar we use, it's the 10th month of the year. So then I was like, well, if that's true for October, what about November? So what's going on with November? Because we're super close to November, right? And I'm seeing 9/11. Well, November is the 11th month of the year, right? Of our year. So I was curious. I'm like, okay, well, there's the 11, right? I'm seeing 9/11, and I'm seeing 11, guys, everywhere all the time now. I see 11 all the time. I look at the clock and it's 3:11. I look at the clock, it's 11:11. I look at the clock, it's 6:11. Every time I look at the clock, it's something 11, it feels like. So I see 11 all the time. So now it's not just 9/11, now it's something 11 all the time. But I wanted to know, I was like, okay, what's the prefix for November? Well, it's Novem, Novem, which, guys, if you look it up, that means 9. So November at one point I want to say it was the Roman calendar, but I would need to double check that. It was the 9th month of the year. So I thought that was really interesting that we have the numbers 9 and 11 coming out of the word November. So divine completeness, rapture of the church, judgment and chaos, those left behind. I thought that was really interesting. I thought it to be really interesting. I also played a little bit with some gematria and some Strong's Concordance stuff as well. So I looked up October 31st in the gematria, and in Jewish gematria you get 1272, and I looked up 1272 in the Strong's Concordance, Hebrew Concordance. 1272 means to flee suddenly and put to flight. It's an awfully strange coincidence, right? So October 31st, Jewish gematria is the number 1272. 1272 in the Hebrew Strong's Concordance, to flee suddenly, put to flight. So guys, I think it's really interesting. I think it's really interesting, you know, that God's putting these numbers out there, and the meanings of these numbers, they seem to all really make sense. I want to reiterate one more time. I'm not saying that the rapture of the church is definitely going to happen on October 31st or November 1st. I do not know. I can just say that from what I see, it would make sense to me, based on the studies of other watch people, with the Enoch calendar, with the alignment of some planets and stars and sun and moon and all those kinds of things. So it seems to make sense. That does not mean that it will actually occur. So guys, it's pretty exciting though. I really think it's going to be anytime. It's going to be anytime. We're so close. There's so many countries that are wanting to get on board with the Abraham Accords. We're definitely into the many at this point. So it's all that needs to happen, guys, is the rapture, and then the Antichrist is going to be revealed, and you know, this world is going to go through 7 years of judgment before we come back for the millennial kingdom. But I just wanted to share this information with you. It's interesting information. You know, the numbers make sense to me. The alignment of all the things that the other watch people have talked about make a lot of sense to me. So whether it happens on October 31st or November 1st, guys, I don't know. But what I can tell you is that it is imminent. It's going to happen soon. There's nothing left that needs to happen for the rapture of the church. All prophecies have been fulfilled that need to be fulfilled for that. So if you guys do not know Jesus as your Lord and Savior, today is the day of salvation. The Bible says if you believe in your heart that God raised him from the dead and confess it with your mouth, then you are saved. And trust me, you do not want to be left behind for what's going to happen after the rapture. And you don't want to be standing there going, oh man, that crazy girl on that video was talking about this and I did not believe. Because you're going to have to endure a lot of things for your faith from that point. So Guys, I hope you have a wonderful, wonderful day. If you are in the path of the storm, I am praying for you. Please pray for me too, that none of these trees fall. And I hope you have a wonderful, blessed day. Have a great one.